Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today, we're going to be going over how to make money this week in GTA Online. We have several different money bonuses, particularly revolving around the nightclub, as I'm sure we're all aware. So naturally, I checked out all of the money methods this week, and we're going to be talking about which ones you should be focusing on to try to make the most money this week, so you don't waste your time on the bad ones. If you enjoy the video or find it useful, consider dropping a like and subscribing if you guys are new. I do these videos every single week. And because this week is primarily focusing on the nightclub business, I will direct you guys to the description of this video. I have my nightclub guide. It's linked in there. That's going to answer all of your nightclub related questions that I know I'm inevitably going to get on this video. Ask them anyways for sure, but there's also that video if you guys need it in the description. So starting off as always with the weekly challenge this week, which is going to be to complete 3 nightclub management missions. Now these actually refer to the nightclub missions that you're going to have to launch from the computer. And these are the missions to get popularity back into your nightclub. These missions are awful, so I honestly don't really know that I can recommend doing these for the weekly challenge. The missions themselves are also paying double money as well, but they pay essentially no money to begin with. So generally the weekly challenge this week is actually like really bad, and you honestly probably shouldn't do it. Now tying into the nightclub popularity, we have the double income on the nightclub safe this week. So every 48 minutes that you spend in game, instead of getting $50,000 deposited into your safe, you're going to get $100,000. However, after every 48 minutes, your nightclub popularity is going to drop by 1 tick. And after a few ticks, you're going to want to get it back up. Now, the way to get it back up that I recommend doing is just with the missions that spawn when you enter your nightclub. It's going to be either a little blue person icon or a blue dot. One is the drive the VIP home mission, and one is the kick out troublemaker mission. Either of these are going to pay you $10,000, which is actually better than the nightclub popularity missions on double money somehow. So I recommend doing that, and you're also going to get way more popularity for each of these missions you complete, and they're also going to be available after every 48 minutes. So if you do one and then 49 minutes later you come back to your nightclub, there'll be another one ready for you. And the other thing to keep in mind is to make sure to empty your safe, because it does cap out at $250,000. So if you don't check it after 2 cycles, when there's $200,000 in there, you're actually going to be losing out on a bunch of money, because that extra $90,000 that would be getting deposited, because 45,000 times 2, right, is going to get capped out. So you're going to be losing like 40 grand if you don't take the money out of your safe. So make sure to take advantage of that and get the money out of the safe and keep the popularity high. Should be really easy this week. You guys should definitely take advantage of it. Now, the best bonus of the week for most players is probably going to be the double production speed on the nightclub basement. Now, if you have the 5 most valuable businesses for your nightclub basement, it's going to produce about $40,000 an hour typically. However, this week it's obviously going to be doubled, and it's going to be making you about $80,000. So finding a way to AFK this week in GTA might be pretty big for some of you, because you're going to be able to take advantage of this bonus a little bit more so that's pretty cool. Now, selling your nightclub basement once you've got the full amount of South American imports and pharmaceutical research is probably going to yield the most money in the long run. Waiting for some of your other stuff to fill up, you're kind of losing money, because the big ticket items aren't going to be making any more money because they're full. They can't produce any more stock. So as soon as South American imports and pharmaceutical research are full, I recommend just selling this, because it's going to allow those to fill up, and that's what you make the most money per hour doing anyways. So that's what I recommend doing. Now, if you're wondering how long those two take to fill, they typically take 20 hours. So this week it's going to be just 10 hours of in-game time. And the total amount of money you're going to get when you sell these when they are full is going to be right around $1 million. It might be like 900K, it might be 1.1 mil. It kind of depends how much other stock you have. There's also another way that you can fill up your basement a little bit quicker this week, and that's by doing business battles and the Johan missions. Now, both of those are going to be giving double money, double nightclub goods, and double RP. So you're going to be making basically a lot of extra money by doing these things. Now, I did a Johan mission today, and I was paid $23,000 for completing it. However, it also increased the value of my nightclub basement by $27,000. So you can expect roughly $50,000 per Johan mission, split up between cash and actual nightclub goods that you will then make your money on later when you actually go to sell them. And this is also going to depend on the type of goods that you source through Johan. It is completely random, unless something's full, then you won't source that type of good. But you could potentially make a little bit more with this depending on what it is that you're actually sourcing. So this is a good way to make a little bit of extra money if you guys are worried about, filling up your nightclub basement a little bit quicker this week. Now, perhaps an underrated way to make money this week is going to be doing the terabyte client jobs, which are paying double money and RP this week. Now, these missions are pretty simple and quick to do, and the only real requirements to do them are to own a terabyte, and it definitely helps if you have some upgrades for it, like the drone station, for example. Now, I did the diamond shopping mission, and it took me about 6 minutes to complete it. However, I could have cut down the time a lot by placing my terabyte in the right spot prior to starting the mission, as I had to drive pretty far to even begin it in the first place. Now, for doing this mission, I was paid $61,000, which is honestly pretty good, so I recommend trying to do a few of these this week. They seem like a really good way to make some quick cash. Now, I do believe that the longer you take in these missions, kind of the more money you will get to a degree, but I think still completing them as fast as possible is probably going to be the method, so that's what I recommend. Now, our highest technical bonus this week is going to be 3 times money on the old school hits mode, which was added to the game last week. Now, I did this mission last week when it was on 4 times money, and I was paid $72,000 for completing it. However, this week on triple money and RP, you're going to be making more like probably $60,000 for a run through of this mission. It's really cool. It's fun. It felt like OG GTA Online to me a lot, which was kind of nice. It was a good change of pace. It will take you about 15 minutes to complete the mission though, and you're going to be getting about $60,000. So not exactly worth your time necessarily, I don't think, but it is a lot of fun, so maybe give it a shot if you guys are interested. Now, the HSW time trial this week, for those of you that have it available, is going to be North Chumash to Palomino Highlands. Now, this time trial is a little bit confusing if you're unfamiliar with it, but it's actually really easy once you know the proper route to take. Now, it starts under the Canyon Highway Bridge, and the first route you'd probably think to take is to just go through the canyon. However, that's going to waste a lot of time because you're going to be traveling at pretty slow speeds, and it's a super twisty road, so you can't really get your speed up. So what you're actually going to do is just get up to the highway. Now, you can start this time trial backwards and go up the dirt road, or you can just go up to the right and get onto the highway, and you're going to boot it down towards Fort Zancudo. Now, if you own a hangar in Fort Zancudo, you can cut through Fort Zancudo, and that's what I would recommend because it's going to shave quite a bit of time off. But if you don't have it, you're just going to go through the tunnel across the bridge that goes over the swamp and turn left at the gas station. And then you're going to go towards the church and Harmony, and that way you're going to head east. Now, from there, you're going to go past the church, you're going to go past Harmony, you're going to go past Los Santos Customs, but before the prison, you're going to turn right. So you're going to be going behind the prison, and then you're going to be trying to get onto the highway that goes to the east as much as possible. Now, once you're on that highway, you're going to go down towards the Noose headquarters building, and you're going to take one of the exits there, whether that's in oncoming traffic or the regular side of traffic. And you're going to go down to the road that goes down to the beach where the time trial ends. Now, you can actually skip a bit of the time trial at the end here by just jumping down, but if you're on a motorcycle, be careful because sometimes you will fall off and that can kind of mess things up. But if you're in a car that you can't fall out of, this is pretty easy. You just go off the jump and you're going to be down at the end of the time trial, and that's $250,000 pretty darn easily. So it's a good one. It's really nice once you actually know the route for this time trial. Super easy to complete. But anyway, guys, that's gonna do it for the video. I really hope you enjoyed. I really hope you guys make a ton of money with the nightclub this week. I know I'm gonna be making a lot of money with it, and I certainly hope that you guys will too. Make sure to take advantage of the nightclub basement in particular and that nightclub safe. Clear it out all the time. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something, and I will see you guys in the next one. Till then, take care. Peace.